Can't get enough of mounts, posturing, and beating the holy hell out of anyone foolish enough to step into the octagon with you? Well, luckily UFC Undisputed 2010 is here and packing a number of additions to try to make itself more of a contender than it was last year. But is it championship material? Let's go to the judges' scorecard.
Oh, one punch! It is all over!
At first glance, the presentation in UFC Undisputed 2010 is off the frickin' charts. At the main menu, you have stylized screens that look like they were pulled from a pay-per-view, and when you jump into a career mode, it's easy to be overwhelmed by the style and pizzazz. There are TV-style intros with the fighters talking about the upcoming match, commentary touching on your last few fights, and post-match interviews where you choose the theme of your fighter's response. It's awesome, but then the seams start to show. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the 12-year career mode, but when I started to see my fighters say the same thing over and over again, hear Rogan repeat the same facts again and again, and realize I couldn't change my difficulty, some of the luster was lost.
I just had too many tools for him to deal with. I really wanted to come in here and make a statement to the rest of the division, and I think I did that.
Outside of the career mode, which is a menu-heavy endeavor with little guidance, there are the standard exhibition, tournament, and classic match modes, but 2010 puts a different spin on multiplayer this time around. Online matches are back, but this time you can create and join online fight camps to act as your clan. The training sounds cool, but the system's far from intuitive. In the office, we were baffled trying to figure out what the game wanted us to do, and a few of the online matches I tried were laggy. Online camps are a good idea, but they didn't really come together this year.
Oh, but he ate a left hand. Nice. Oh, look at the elbow inside. It's all over.
If you remember last year's UFC game, this one controls pretty much the exact same way, with awesome knockouts, cool submissions, and a whole lot of blood. THQ added a few moves, but for better or worse, it stuck with that really complicated control scheme. There are transitions to get the hang of on the right stick, moves to learn in career mode, and the ability to move between submissions. The problem is that the in-game tutorial really doesn't give you a feel for how these finer points of the game work. For me, this was incredibly frustrating. I went through more than half of my initial UFC career playing as a boxer and having no real idea of what I was doing.
Oh, look at the elbow inside.
I didn't understand the ground game, I didn't know how I was supposed to be upgrading my character's stats, and I was pretty much screwed anytime an opponent put me in a clinch or threw me to the ground. Rather than have the game teach me how to play, I had to rely on a friend who used the ground game almost exclusively. The game should teach me this stuff, not a friend. Just like last year, Undisputed 2010 will alienate most by having a really steep learning curve. Of course, mixed martial arts is a complicated sport, so perhaps it shouldn't be the easiest thing in the world to pick up and play. With the presentation and gameplay stuff out of the way, you know what makes up UFC Undisputed 2010, as most modes and matches are variations of those themes. There are parts that are super cool, like the post-match interviews and the awesome knockouts, but then there's the repetition of the commentary, the menu-heavy career mode, as well as the overall been there, done that feel of the game in general. Undisputed has some great ideas and is a lot of fun to play, but there's no doubt that there's room for improvement if this one wants to be the champion of all things MMA. There's nothing in the game that should keep fans away from UFC Undisputed 2010, but they shouldn't go in expecting an easy knockout. For my full review, check out IGN.com.